Hello, my name's Tim Wyatt, and I'd like to talk to you about a subject that people find very distasteful, death. It's something I've been researching for many years, and I've just written a book called Everyone's Book of the Dead, which you're very welcome to read if you like. Now, throughout human history, death has been widely feared. Occasionally it's been revered, and usually it's been misunderstood by a great many people, and it still is. Fear of death blights many people's lives, but there's no reason why it should. It's a subject we avoid talking about wherever possible, especially in polite conversation. So, invariably, we choose to ignore it until it actually happens. Prevailing notions of death as extinction, as oblivion, or as annihilation of all consciousness aren't only mistaken, they're a myth. In fact, this is the biggest lie ever peddled to us on this planet. To use a modern phrase, you could say it was the ultimate in fake news. Our ancient ancestors knew that we're continually reborn in new bodies. But this timeless truth about rebirth, or reincarnation as it's called, like so many other truths, has been lost in this technologically dominated and highly materialistic civilization that we find ourselves living in. Many otherwise well-educated people who have an exclusively materialistic mindset insist that we only have one life here on Earth, and that our planet is here not through any purpose or design, but because of some gigantic cosmic accident. Death isn't final, fatal, or permanent, and it's not a tragedy. It's simply part of a continuous life cycle experienced by everything from an atom to a galaxy. This cycle is birth, growth, development, maturity, decline, and then death of the physical form before rebirth, etc., etc. The cycle repeats itself. Down the ages, most cultures have believed in some kind of survival of the soul and rebirth. Originally, the Christian Church believed in reincarnation, but this was outlawed from their creed in the 6th century, and this was principally for political reasons. Yes, our physical bodies die, but there's far more to us than just flesh and bone. We have other subtle bodies which not only survive physical death, but thrive in the afterlife before being reborn as part of an eternal evolutionary journey in which all of us are engaged. We're frightened of death because we don't understand that it means a new beginning and not the end of everything. However, if you believe you only have one life here on Earth, then death is a truly terrifying prospect, unless your religion tells you there's some vague heaven or paradise somewhere waiting for you where you can while away eternity. And yet, more and more people believe in rebirth. When I was born back in the 1950s, these ideas were mainly confined to Eastern religions such as Buddhism or Hinduism. They were largely unknown in the West. But since then, things have changed dramatically, and we're living in new times. Recent and reliable opinion polls in Europe and the United States now show that belief in reincarnation is making a major comeback, with up to a third of people subscribing to notions of rebirth, even people whose religion denies and indeed forbids such things. The skeptics insist there's no proof of an afterlife or repeated births in different bodies. If we've been here before, why can't we remember our past lives, they usually ask. And yet, some people do. Sometimes spontaneously, and sometimes as a result of undergoing hypnotic regression. However, there are very good reasons why most people don't remember their past lives until they're ready to do so. So, why do we reincarnate? Experience, education, and evolution are the chief reasons. Over many existences, we develop not just our minds and bodies, but our deeper spiritual nature. And basically, we're all spiritual beings who occasionally inhabit bodies. We're not just bodies who happen to have spirits. But reincarnation would be useless without some way of controlling and checking our behavior. Everything we say, everything we think, everything we feel, and everything we do sends out vibrations, and these have repercussions. These set up causes, and every cause produces an effect, either positive or negative. The important thing to understand is that nothing happens by chance. This is the law of karma, the law of cause and effect, which tells us essentially that what we reap is exactly what we sow, and that we get what we've earned, for better or for worse. However, karma isn't there to punish or to reward. Its purpose is to maintain balance, restore harmony, and ensure equilibrium. We can look on it as a kind of cosmic justice. If reincarnation and its powering principle of karma became the prevailing view in the world, then this would dramatically modify our behavior and the way we see things. We'd appreciate that what we do now is shaping our future lives, and we might start to take more responsibility of how we treat one another and how we treat this planet of ours. So as Arnold Schwarzenegger often says in his films, I'll be back, and so will you, at another time, in a different body, with new lessons to learn and a new mission to fulfill. So look forward to your next life, and you can actually even start creating it right now. Should you be interested in any of these matters, you might find my book, Everyone's Book of the Dead, helpful and informative, because it tries to explore death from every imaginable angle. And it also tries to demystify it. The book's got lots of colour illustrations and extensive research, and it focuses on the deeper, esoteric and secret interpretations of this mighty subject. The book explores in detail notions of dying and death itself, as well as what happens to us and where we go after we die. It analyses clearly, and I hope fairly concisely, the mysterious workings of these twin interdependent laws of karma and reincarnation, and it offers some highly persuasive scientific evidence for rebirth. It also examines death and dying in different cultures, in different religions, and in different spiritual traditions. But wouldn't it be easier to avoid this subject altogether? Well, not at all. Because if we change the way we regard death, then we also radically transform the way we look at life too.